Thanks for tuning in. My name is Dmitry Naskovets and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to shoot a video about investments in the United States. We have a guest, his name is Adam Bergman, and he's going to speak about his personal experience in investing money in the United States. Also about financial culture in general. Adam.
Hey Dino, how are you?
Thanks a lot for coming on time.
Thank you for having me on your show, man.
What about the day when you're going to move to Manhattan? Going to happen or never?
I'll move to Florida before I move to Manhattan.
Okay.
Привет, ребята, меня зовут Adam Bergman от шоу Adam Bergman на YouTube.
It's nice, Adam, that finally I can ask somebody who I know all these questions. Can you tell me about what is in general financial culture in the United States? What people think about rich people, for example? What do they start thinking about this in America when you are like a kid?
Dima, I'm very glad you asked me that. I believe that money in America and finance in America is generational. Either you're taught it or you're not taught it. So you can go to college, you could spend 6 figures on your college tuition and take these finance classes, but what did they really teach you? They don't teach you much. You need a role model, a figure, somebody that you look up to teach you financial education. And financial education is the #1 lacked education, not only in America, but globally. And that's the reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Can you give me an example of a role model? Like for some people, who is that? Warren Buffett?
Warren Buffett is a great role model. You could look at people that do different type of investments and are making money on it. It could be a father figure. It could be a professor, a teacher, a friend. You know, to teach somebody, you only need to know one step more than them. Theoretically, if you're talking to somebody that's steps and steps ahead of you, you're not going to understand the concepts, you're not going to understand the ideas. However, if you're talking to somebody that's just one step ahead of them, as ahead of yourself, you can understand what they're explaining to you and they can show you in detail what they did just a year ago.
When they start speaking finance, when people very young, like 8 years old?
So unfortunately, people don't start speaking finance until they're usually going to college or out of college, and then they have a very small introduction of finance, for example, when they're doing their 401k or their retirement accounts. But actual investing, not too many people get a chance to learn this. This is the problem with society as a whole. I forgot what I wanted to say.
And when you, we're just gonna cut it. When you are like 8 years old and you just hear a conversation of your parents in the kitchen about stocks, so it's useless, right? You need to learn it.
It's useless if even you have this conversation hearing it from your parents. If your parents are talking about stocks, if your parents are talking about real estate, if your parents are talking about investing in anything, this is great. This is a head start. This is how you learn, because you have a stepping stone and somebody's actually willing to teach you and explain to you in their own terms, in their own ideas of how to invest your money. If you're working day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year, you're slaving away. What's the point?
What does it mean, slaving away?
Slaving away means that you're working 24/7. You're working the 9-to-5 job, plus you add 1 more hour for transportation to get to work. You're adding another hour for transportation to come back from work, and you're adding another hour in between. At the end of the day, you're not working an 8-hour workday. You're working more like a 10-hour workday.
Okay.
You're working every single day. You have the weekend to enjoy yourself. And what are you doing on the weekend? You're running your errands. This is no good. What you really want to do is you want to work your butt off for the next decade, be able to save up some money, responsibly and intelligently invest that money so that your interest can grow on your money and you have returns on your investment. And then in the future, you'll be able to live off of the investments that you put in now. So it's like a plant. You put in a seed, you water it, you give it some sunlight, you give it some nice talking, and eventually it's going to blossom. And this is what you want to do with your financial education, with your financial investments. You want to nurture it, and then by the time you're ready to retire, when it's 65 years old or 60 years old, you don't need a pension fund, you don't need a social security, you don't need any of these things.
How old you were when you heard the word investments first time? Was like high school?
I was probably in high school, early college, but I didn't understand what it meant, and I never really invested in it. I was kind of a little bit slow to get into investing.
Adam, in New York, a lot of people saying this phrase that, listen, rich people, they becoming richer, poor people becoming poorer. Like nowadays, 2021, is it true?
This is absolutely true. I'm so glad that you asked me that question, but I'm even happier to give you something. This is a book that I read. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's by Robert Kiyosaki.
American?
He's American. He's from Hawaii. This is a man that had a dad. His dad was a professional. I believe he was a professor in college. And he always believed in working hard, getting a good education in college, the traditional education, and then getting a job, getting a career, getting paid for this, and going to the traditional way of retirement. Robert had a friend. His friend had another dad. He was building his business at the time. And every time Robert had a question, him and his friend had a question, he got two answers. He got one from his poor dad, that was a professor in school, but he was still making a couple of $100,000 a year, and he got advice from his rich dad, who was building a business and doing different investments. And throughout the book, Robert talks about poor dad, rich dad, and how to build wealth.
So how old was this guy when he started listening to this father of his friend?
He was just a kid. One example in the book that he gives is when him and his friend needed money for something, and they came to his friend's dad and they said, "Hey, can we get some money?" And the rich dad explained, "Guys, I'm not going to give you money, but I'm going to give you an idea and explain to you how to make the money to get what you want." The whole premise, the whole basis of the book is explaining you work very hard right now, you're able to do solid investments, and these investments pay for what you want. So instead of you spending your money on a car right now, for example, you take the money, you invest it in a business, you invest it in stocks, you invest it in dividend stocks, so on and so forth. And eventually that real estate, those stocks, those options are going to pay for the car without you having to take the money out of your pocket. And this is the key to a financial education. And this is also why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And the rich build something called generational wealth. Generational wealth means me as a father, I make money. Not only is it enough to support my family now, but I pass this on to my kids and my kids pass it on to their kids. And this is how the bloodline of rich get richer.
What do you think, how the controlling of money works in America? Like how people control their money? They put them in the bank, they put them in the box inside the house, like how they control it?
So it's an interesting thing. So people believe that if they save their money for a rainy day, this is going to help them out if something drops, the economy drops. However, my view is you need a small amount for a rainy day and invest all your funds into different type of investment vehicles. By doing this, when the rainy day comes, you never have a rainy day because you have money from different sources. You have money from your investments, you have money from your real estate, you have money from your jobs, you have money from your insurance policies. It's the key to wealth is building many streams of revenue.
What is the basics way to invest money in America?
There's
several
different avenues, but now it's so easy with the internet. You can open up an account. You can open up several types of investment accounts. Let's say just straight stocks.
Setting ID from your phone?
ID from your phone, absolutely. You can open up an M1 finance account. You can open up a Coinbase account. You can open up a Webull account, a Robinhood account, a bunch of different investment vehicles, and you get a bonus for when you sign up. So in reality, right now, it's actually free to start investing in the United States. Probably globally, you get these benefits, these bonuses. So Webull, for example, M1 Finance, they give you a stock when you open up. So if you open up the account, they'll give you a stock. And this is the basis of how you start. Just open it up.
What about like in Russian-speaking world, for example, everybody has a pension?
Yes.
Like because it's government controls the economy. How it's in America? Everybody has a pension?
So there's different retirement avenues. A pension is when your employer automatically invests money on your behalf into a retirement. Then you have something called a 401k plan. A 401k plan means that you as an employee invest money into your own retirement, and usually your employer is going to match the amount to a certain level.
But it means you still need to save in both of these venues.
Absolutely.
You need to save yourself, or your employer needs to save on your behalf.
Absolutely. Okay. And unfortunately, this is most of the investment that the United States and the global, unfortunately, this is the way that most people in the United States is taught to invest money. You work very hard, your employer is going to invest money on your behalf. And then when you retire, you're going to have Social Security and you're going to have a pension.
What about, can you tell us about insurance for the money? Is it too deep of a question? Like, I know people have insurance for their bank accounts, insurance for like how it works and why people use it.
I'm going to give you a very, very quick example. After the Great Depression, they started doing something called FDIC. FDIC means that in America, the federal government insures your money for $250,000 on an individual account. If you have spousal accounts and you have business accounts, there's other ways. But let's just work with the number $250,000. Now, people believe that if the bank fails, the government will give you $250,000. This is not how it works. What the government is saying is, if this specific bank fails, we guarantee that you will get your money back, but when you get it, is determined if another bank takes over this bank, and when they do, they have to take over the account, the money that's owed to you.
So you can lose it.
You cannot lose it. Eventually you will get it, but it doesn't mean that the government will shell out the money and pay you.
So it's a long process.
Correct. But they do guarantee the money. The reason they did this is during the Great Depression, a lot of people lost their money, and the government needed to find a way to ensure that people are going to deposit their money into the banking system. And the only way to do that is to FDIC insure your money and saying that up to $250,000, you will not lose it. But they don't mention how you actually get the money back. Thankfully, I don't believe there's any cases where this needed to happen ever since the Great Depression.
What do you think? Not you personally, but like general family in the United States. When people have a situation when the button, okay, let's start save money, click. Like when they 18, 15, like a stereotype.
I believe that the age is actually getting lower and lower with the age of Google, with the age of YouTube, with the age of shows exactly like yours. Thank you for making it, by the way. Thank you so much. Normally, people start investing, again, when they're working for many years. Their first investment, what do? The American dream is to buy a house. You buy a house, you pay off your mortgage, your house accumulates value, and that's your first investment. When can you buy this house? Usually once you already have a career, once you start working. I think that most people don't start investing until they're in their 30s or 40s. However, I also believe, and this is just my opinion based on random numbers, that people are starting to invest a lot earlier because of shows like this and YouTube and Google. And it's just so much easier to get a financial education.
If we speak about like alternative investments, like in cryptocurrency, in stocks, for example, is it like 50% of Americans doing that, or still it's only like Wall Street people know how to do that, and it's like 10% of the population, or a lot of people?
The funny thing is, Wall Street makes you want to believe that they're the only ones that know how to do these type of investments. This is the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Wall Street wants you to believe that they know something that you don't know. In today's day and age, this is not a fact. I don't know the exact numbers of people that invest into crypto or not. I'm a crypto bull. Bitcoin to the moon.
What does it mean, Bitcoin bull?
Bitcoin bull. So you have a bear and you have a bull. This is in terms of a market. So what happens is a bull, when he attacks, he goes up. So a bull means that you're going up. You think that the market's going to be positive. And then a bear, what they do is when they attack with the claws, they go down. So that means that the stock market is going down or the market is going down. Actually,
who invented those names?
To be honest, I have no clue.
So this phrase was long time.
This phrase was a long time, and I actually wanted to present you with another present. I knew you were going to ask me that. I wanted to give you, speaking of bear and bulls, you made a comment on one of my videos about finding a bull in a bear market, and I wanted to give you this present.
Okay, so we see here, so where are you? Where are all your money?
Where is all my money? So my money is right around here. So we went up for a while, then we had a drop, and we're around here. I'm not at my all-time high, but I'm not at a low. I'm right around here. So I took a little bit of a beating, but now I'm coming back. The bull is back.
Can you educate us about people investing in funds and like indexes?
Sure.
So what is that?
So there's two types of funds. There's actively managed funds, and then there's passively managed funds. A passive managed fund, basically you're going into an index fund. You're tracking the Dow Jones, the S&P, or the NASDAQ. That's good for people that don't want to worry. They just buy it. They don't worry about it. On average, it says that if you invested in the S&P 500 and keep it over 10 years, you double your money. This is just a basic statistic from the beginning of time when it was invented. What I personally like is something called an actively managed fund. An actively managed fund is a fund that's managed by a team. My most favorite and the most profitable actively managed funds of 2020 is a fund run by a woman called Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood in 2018 February, she predicted that Tesla was going to hit a price of $4,000 a share. There was a split of Tesla, so in comparison, 4,000 would have been the current price of 800. Tesla went up to 900. When she predicted it, everybody laughed at her. She invests in groundbreaking technology, something called disruptive technology, something that is going to change the world. For example, financial technology. So instead of the old school banking way, she invests in PayPal, she invests in Square.
You have an app instead of a
Correct.
broker.
That's right. An app instead of a broker. She is a huge bull of cryptocurrency. Why? Cryptocurrency disrupts the old monetary system.
Listen, it sounds so exciting. Why anybody else wants to invest in real estate when you have this interesting funds like that?
Well, I believe that real estate should be the base of your investment. That's right. I wouldn't have invested in the stock market until I had several properties owned in real estate, because I believe real estate, if real estate drops, it only drops a certain percentage. But
so it's like your pillow.
It's
financial pillow.
Absolutely. I know if God forbid I lose all my money in investing, I'm always going to have my assets in real estate.
Let's talk old school, gold. Is it still exists? As investments?
Gold still exists. It's called a finite asset.
Finite?
Finite asset.
Finite.
Finite means that there's only a certain amount of gold that can be produced. You can't make it up. Unlike the American dollar or the Russian ruble, you could always print more money.
So it's like Bitcoin.
Interesting that you say this. Bitcoin is actually similar to gold. It's a new asset class, and there's only going to be a finite amount of Bitcoin. For example, there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever mined. On top of the Bitcoin that is no longer in production and the Bitcoin that was lost in the early stages of Bitcoin.
Hold on, do we believe that it will be one day when there is no gold on Earth?
I believe that there's always going to be gold, because you can't really destroy gold. You
always can go to the 47th Street.
You always go. That's right. You always melt it and go to 47th Street. You always go to the jeweler. But I believe that Bitcoin right now, to give you an example, is about 1/10 the market cap of gold. The market cap of gold is approximately $10 trillion. Bitcoin right now, market cap is $1 trillion. I believe that Bitcoin is going to surpass gold one day. I believe Bitcoin is going to grow 10 times more than the current price.
I was working in the bank in my native Belarus, and we were having pieces of gold for sale in the bank. Does something like that exist in America?
Yeah, you could pay a premium and people are going to sell you gold bars. They take a premium for that and then you keep it. But can I ask...
When you say people, who is that?
47th Street, you know.
So okay, it's just store.
That's right. There's guys called Mr. Gold. They advertise, yeah. And they're going to sell you gold coins. However, what are you going to do with that? You can't actually use it to buy anything.
Oh, like you can just resell it for cash.
You could resell it for cash, but my question is, what's the point? You have Bitcoin, you have cryptocurrency in general. You put it either on your application, which is warm storage, or you could put it in cold storage. Cold storage is basically a USB drive, and you put it in your pocket. You can keep $100,000, $1 million on this little thing. You can carry it anywhere you go. You're taking a trip to a different country, you have your money on you, all your assets. What's the point of gold? It's obsolete. It's dinosaur technology, just like banks. Dinosaurs.
Have you ever had a situation when your investment was bad?
Of course, we're all humans, but you only learn from your mistakes. If everything is positive, you never learn. If everything's good, you never get to learn the bad. And you only really progress from the bad. When you have failures, that's going to lead to your biggest successes.
So, hold on, it means it's a long game.
It's absolutely a long game.
Okay.
When I buy a stock, usually 95% of the time I buy it 3 to 5 year period. A 3 to 5 year period. What I like about stocks is when the market dips, a dip means what we had recently, when the market is going down. This is a great buying opportunity. This is when you cost dollar average, which means that as the stock goes down, and it's your conviction stock, this is something you believe in, it's your baby, you reinvest your money and you buy more. And this way, the average dollar that you spend to buy the stock goes down, 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 down. Listen, when Bitcoin hit 58,000 2 weeks ago, I was a buyer at 58,000. I didn't shun away from it. Approximately 10 days ago on my channel, I opened up a public account where all my viewers can see the money I'm putting in. This is right when the market dipped the most. The NASDAQ was down, down, down. I put in 10,000 of my own money. I did a show last week on Thursday. I was up 9% of my money.
When you make it public, who is handling your security? It's like all in the cloud?
Oh, I'm not fancy like this. I literally just go on my computer, I log into my account, and I let my viewers see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can teach me something about this.
Listen, you need to watch out all this information that you provide, like what you have in the browser. But we're going to speak about this later. What about your best investment?
My best investment?
Yeah.
My number one stock investment right now is something called Moderna. Probably your viewers know what this is. This is the vaccine in America right now. And Moderna follows something called mRNA technology, which is a new wave of technology. This is my biggest position, and this is my biggest investment and my biggest profit. I was investing in it from back when it was $30. Right now, Moderna is approximately $150, $149, and it was all the way up to approximately $180.
Why this company needs your money?
This company absolutely does not need my pennies invested in them, but I definitely need this company. I believe in the technology, and that's the whole point of investing. You invest in a company that you believe in. The company doesn't need your money specifically.
So the most important part here is the vision. So they're selling the vision.
Absolutely. The second most important part of the vision is you believing, and you have your own vision of where this company is going to go. So you don't invest in a company for today, and you don't invest for a company in a year from now. You invest, where is this company going to be 5 or 10 years from now? Do you believe in the technology? Do you believe in the CEO? Do you like the concepts, their website? Who's the CEO? Are they making stock offerings? Are they doing disruptive technology?
Where are you getting answers to all these questions? Bloomberg.com?
No, not Bloomberg.com. I like to use Google. I do random searches. I like to go on the company's website. People overlook how strong a company's website is. They usually give you updates of the things that they're producing. For example, Moderna, they just started doing phase 2 of the pediatric shots. So now they're going to introduce shots to non-adults. And I believe that in the future, maybe schools are going to make all children take the vaccine to go into school. Just like
I heard something in the news yesterday on the radio when I was driving. One company is going to start tests on 7,000 children, and then it will be public. But I don't remember the name of the company. How much money you need to start investing?
You literally need $0, not $1.
Hold on, zero. So you can invest zero?
You can invest $0. I'll explain exactly how to do it. Dima, we're going to put some links down in the subject line of your video. With these links, for example, if you open up an M1 account, you get $30. You take that $30 and you then buy stocks with that $30.
You get cash by mail, or how you get $30?
They put it into your account once you deposit a certain amount of money. You can then take away the initial investment that you put in.
How much money you need to invest? Like $100?
The bonuses always change, and it fluctuates the situation.
No, you said in order to get $30 for free, you need to open with some amount. So what is it? It's a small amount, something?
It's a small amount. For example, there's another website, Webull. They give you one stock for free if you invest $100. So you invest $100, they give you a stock up to $1,600 worth.
$1,600?
Up to $1,600. Most likely you're not going to get the $1,600. It's a raffle, but I invested $100.
It's a raffle.
Right. It's the higher the stock, the less chances of getting it, right?
Okay.
But I put in $100 and I got a stock worth $3.50, for example. But then you can sell your initial $100. If you want to get into cryptocurrency, you open up a Coinbase account. They give you $10. But if you want to invest in cryptocurrency, you open up something called a BlockFi account. BlockFi account gives you $250 bonus for signing up, and they give you interest on the crypto that you keep on their website. There's tons and tons of way to invest with $0. Now, The money you're going to make on those small trades and those small amount of money is not much. But if you're a smart investor, you do your research, you reinvest the money over and over again, you can really make some traction.
As an investor, what kind of tools you are using every day? It's a computer, it's a special website, it's an email, what else?
It's regular Google search. I love Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance has chat rooms. You get to see most people's perspectives. Usually it's not super helpful, but every so often you get a perspective of somebody that's a serious investor, but it's a good start. Also, Reddit. Reddit is amazing. And then there's a website called Wall Street Bets. Those are the guys that are bringing the GME up and the AMC up.
What is that GME?
GME is GameStop. And
okay.
AMC...
that's the name of the stock.
Correct. GME is GameStop. I'm sure that you know about it. I'm sure your viewers know about it. One of the people from Wall Street Bets was actually in front of Congress speaking about all of this. It's a whole movement of bringing a stock up. It's called Diamond Hands. You believe in it, you'll push it forward.
What Congress was talking about? What they were concerned about something?
Yeah, it's interesting that the big Wall Street firms were crying. They were short sellers. So they believed that this stock was going to go down because it's old school analog technology. Nobody runs games anymore. Nobody wants this. And then you have a movement that said, no, we are going to push this stock because we believe in the fundamentals of the stock and we believe that it can move forward. It's not a dead stock. And by doing this, they raised the price of the stock. The short sellers had to cover their shorts and borrow more money, or they're going to lose all their investments, their money. And we're talking about billions and billions of dollars that the short sellers are putting in.
Do you know if GameStop trying to get rid of the physical locations and go 100% online?
It's not one of my actual holdings, so I'm limited with the knowledge that I know about them. However, I know that they did just hire a whole team to be able to bring it into the digital world, to bring their games online. A transition team. I have a little bit of an issue with the transition team because I can never imagine somebody like Elon Musk hiring a transition team to make his cars into electric. I can't imagine that. However, clap for GameStop for
what about forward. If the guy is 74 years old? Maybe because that's the age is the issue.
If he's 74 years old, I don't know. I think he should retire and maybe get a new CEO who's a little bit younger, no offense, and knows how to move this product forward in the 21st century. Don't be a dinosaur. Don't die with old technology.
Are you happy with the American tax law? Are they fair?
I'm just going to say, I suppose it's fair because America gives us so much. They give us a platform and an ability to do what we do. But when you say America, it's a very broad statement. We have 50 states, and every single state has a different tax bracket. For example, states like Alaska, states like Florida, states like Nevada, they have 0 city and state taxes. So your tax brackets are a lot less. If you're a YouTuber, for example, making your finances from YouTube, you would move to Florida or you move to Nevada and pay 0 city and state taxes. So you got to be more specific when you say the tax code. But in America, everything's fair. You want to play, you got to pay.
Let's just help some regular guy. I want to buy Apple stock. How you can do that? What do you need for that?
Okay. The first thing is you're going to open up a trading account. You can open up M1 Finance, Webull. You can open up a Robinhood account, which is the big thing right now. You can open up a Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade. When you open up this account, you literally go into the application. You type in APL, something like this, the Apple symbol, and you say, I want to trade one stock. You link your bank account, you deposit the money. They're going to send a small transfer into your account, like 1 penny and 3 pennies. You got to verify your account, and then you're open for trading. Whatever.
So how much you need to buy an Apple stock or Google stock, for example?
It's all relative. If you invest $1 million and I invest $1, it's all relative on the amount that you're making.
So, but no, what is the minimum, like how much you can buy Apple stock, how much money?
So it depends on the trading platform. So if you have a trading platform like Webull or you have a trading platform like TD Ameritrade, they make you buy a full stock. But if you have a
just one.
Correct, minimum one. But if you have something called M1 Finance or you have a Robinhood, you can buy something called partial stocks. So you don't have to even buy a full stock.
Okay. I'm listening to you very carefully, and I have an idea that in your reality you need to invest, and it's something healthy. Like you need to have it in order to have like a happy life. So I'm getting like a proper vibe.
Somewhat, yes. It's a little stressful to invest, so that's a little unhealthy. However, if you're looking at the big picture, it's pretty healthy. The point is, you don't want to work your entire life. You don't want to retire at 67 years old and have the rest of your life to enjoy. You want to be able to retire at 40, 45 years old and then work because you choose to work and enjoy your life if you choose to work. So you want to have something called financial independence. And when you have financial independence, it gives you the ability to do the projects that you want to do. And you're not tied down to working because you have to work. You do it because you enjoy working and you give it so much.
It looks like you cannot accomplish something like that without saving. So in your personal experience, can you give advice like how to start saving? Start from $50, put it on saving account, saving like in your bank account. Like how you do it, for example?
So I saved for about 10 or 11 years straight. I was able to save up some money and I bought myself my first property. I bought myself my first property. I lived in there for a while, then I bought my next property, so on and so forth. When you live in a property for several years, you're able to do something called a refinance and take out a line of credit. So if you refinance, you accumulate a certain amount of equity in your property. Your property goes up, you buy it, let's say for $500,000, you put down $100,000 deposit, for example, because you have to put down 20% in America to get the house. You then wait a couple of years, the property goes up $100,000, let's say, for example. Then you're going to do something called a refinance, where you can then take out the accumulated equity in your property. You can then take that out, and then you can use that to buy yourself an investment property. Or you can buy yourself a two-family home. You can rent one family and live in the second family. This is how you start investing. I believe you have to work very hard for a decade, 11, 12, 13 years, save up your money, invest it properly, and then life gets a little easier.
Let's go back 10 years. The first, do you remember this day, listen, enough is enough, let's put money aside. How you psychologically made an agreement with yourself to actually do that?
I basically saw that everybody around me had money. Everybody was going out. Everybody was having fun. They had really cool cars, and I didn't have any of these things. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't have anybody that was able to finance my life. I said, you know what? I'm going to work my behind off. I'm going to be the hardest person in the room. If a client calls me at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting up and I'm going to work. I was doing 13, 14-hour days, and I only took off for Shabbat. Other than that, I was working, and I was able to save up money. Anytime I was able to get some side job to make an extra $50, an extra $100. I used to park cars, valet. I used to do on the weekends catering. I used to be a waiter, and I already was running my own business. Anything I can do to save up money. I worked very hard for 10 years.
So what was the first amount? $200?
The first amount for what?
You decided to save. What was that?
$50, $100. I wasn't going out to clubs. Everybody was going out to clubs.
And where did you put the money?
Bank account.
Safe.
And my
Saving.
mom.
And your mom.
Savings and my mom, yeah. I'll tell you something. Your mom is the best savings account you can have, because if you tell her, Mama, don't give me this money, a Russian mom will not give you that money.
Listen, you didn't tell me about this tool. This is a serious tool.
This is a serious tool. Mama tool is one of the best tools that you can have. If you really are serious about saving up your money, if you give it to your mom and you say, Mom, I need this for the future, a good mom will always save up your money, and she'll only give it to you when you need it. So my mom only gave me my money when it was time to buy a house. She did not give me my money until it was time to buy a house.
Mr. Bergman, it was a wonderful interview. Thank you very much for this information.
Thank you so much, Dima.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Please comment below and tell us what you think about our opinions. Please like this video if you really like it and subscribe to this channel to see more.